Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus and see which particular Samsung phone is the better one for you. Now, number one, the biggest thing I could probably tell you is that in almost every single way, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is a way better phone here. There could be some advantages for the S24 FE, but for the most part, if you're trying to go through and pick up a phone, the S24 Plus universally is going to be the better one here. So if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can also support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, the S24 Plus, which came out a little earlier this year, on the front side is giving you a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. It's a dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. So this is a, better panel, I would say, than the Samsung Galaxy S24 FEs. So for one, they're the same size, but you are getting a 1440p panel on the S24 Plus, which is very nice to have. Although it's still downscaled to 1080p unless you change it, it's still very nice to have that, option of going up to, 1440p. Also, it's 2600 nits of brightness and it's 120 Hz. So a very good type of panel. I think it looks very, very nice. And even from that side alone, I don't really have too many things to complain about there from that particular side either. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is that with the S24 FE, that particular phone is giving you a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED display. So it's not LTPO. It's only 1900 nits of brightness, which is still fairly bright, and it's 1080p. So you're still getting 120 Hz, you're still getting a very good panel, but it's not as high of a resolution as the S24 Plus is, and it doesn't get as bright as the S24 Plus either. So keep that in mind, but they look relatively kind of around the same thing because they're around the same size. You're both getting flat sides on the sides of both of them, and on the bottom, you are getting this USB Type-C port on the bottom of both, which is really nice. I love having USB-C, and you are essentially getting that type of capability here on these types of devices, which again is a super nice thing to have. On the backside, you're getting, standard glass back on the S24 FE, or you're getting a frosted glass back on the back of the S24 Plus. So that is something that's actually really cool in and of itself. Triple camera setup in the top left corner of both of these, which again is a very nice thing to have. You're getting wireless charging on both, reverse wireless charging on both, and there's still a lot of overlap between both as well. And if you are going to pick up one, I definitely would look at a device like the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus as definitely being the more premium one in almost every single way. That is the one that I look at as being a really, really good device. I'm a humongous fan of that. And definitely without a doubt, if I'm going to go and pick up a device, that is the one that I think is probably the better one here. But I would probably also add that the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE is still fairly good, and for a brand new phone, I don't think it's terrible. From a price tag perspective though, this is where things get a little complicated. So the S24 Plus is a more expensive phone in the brand new market than a brand new Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. So if we're looking at brand new prices, the S24 Plus is a more expensive brand new device. But if we're looking at these devices when it comes down to the other side of things, like when it comes down to both these phones holding up from a used price perspective, a used Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is cheaper than a used Samsung Galaxy S24 FE or a brand new Samsung Galaxy S24 FE for that, for this comparison. So from that side, that is kind of a big thing to keep in mind, because if you are looking at something like an S24 Plus, well, that device is probably going to be giving you an overall better price tag perspective on the S24 Plus in the used market than a brand new S24 FE. So kind of keep that in mind, for the most part. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but that is just probably a thing you're going to keep in mind when you have to compare these two phones from that particular perspective. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. Now, when it comes down to the camera side of things, this is also another big difference. So at the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus, this phone is giving you a triple camera setup. So 50 megapixel wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, where the S24 FE is giving you a 50 megapixel wide, 8 megapixel telephoto, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So a little bit of a difference there. You're also getting a jump with the Galaxy S24 Plus's camera on the front side. It's a little bit of a higher megapixel count. But the thing I will probably tell you when it comes down to both these phones from that perspective is that in my personal opinion, if you're looking at both, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus's camera is probably going to be the better one here. So you're able to do 8K at 30 on the back of both and 4K at 60 on the front. So the resolutions are roughly around the same thing. There's not really a big difference when it comes down to that particular perspective here. But I definitely do look at both these phones, and I'm a massive fan of the way both these phones are going to hold up for the next couple of years. Both these cameras are very good. They're both very solid types of cameras. And I do think this in and of itself is another very big thing to keep in mind here. So for me personally, if I'm looking at both these phones, I'm a fan of the way both these hold up, and I do think from that particular perspective, if you're going to go through and pick up one of these phones from a camera side, I think they both hold up very, very well, which is something that I actually love a lot. So from that side as well, that kind of covers it up there a little bit too. Now on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here is software longevity. So I would probably go off with the assumption that the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is going to be a longer lasting phone overall than the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. So if you're wanting the phone that's going to be the longer lasting one here, it's probably going to be the S24 FE. It's probably going to be the S24 Plus. So the S24 Plus is going to be here for many, many years to come, and that's the one that I look at as probably being the longer lasting one. But the S24 FE is still here. It's really not going anywhere anytime soon, and both these phones are going to be getting software support for many, many years from now. So from that perspective too, I mean, you don't really have that much to complain about here when it comes down to that side. Now on top of that, when it comes down to the battery life, the S24 Plus is, giving you a 4900 mAh battery, whereas on the S24 FE, you're getting a 4700 mAh battery. So that is an extra 200 mAh increase. It isn't the biggest deal in the world, but as I stated before, it is very, very nice to have that type of, battery life. I definitely do like having these types of phones, and if you are going to go through and pick up one of these types of devices, like I said before, I think the S24 Plus giving you that type of capability of a bigger size battery is probably going to translate it to giving you overall better battery life for the most part too. Now when it comes down to the performance side, this is also something else that's very interesting. So between both, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is giving you that Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset inside with 12GB of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE is giving you that Exynos 2400E chipset with 8GB of RAM. So I probably will tell you from that side too, that is another very nice thing going on for both these devices. So from that side in and of itself, I do like having these types of phones because they both are giving you very good type of build, and they're both giving you very good types of chipsets inside. So from that side as well, that's another very big thing, right? Like if I'm going to go through and pick up a device, and this is a really, really big deal. Now, I will tell you for every single person out there, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus is by far probably going to be giving you the overall better, performing phone. It's going to be giving you better chipset, and all the applications and everything going to run into it's going to be better. And there's more RAM inside of that phone. So that is definitely far better. But with something like the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE, this thing still kind of gets the job done. And there really isn't an insane amount of things to complain about there from that particular device. So overall, to kind of sum it up, I will definitely tell you, I'm definitely going to look at something like the S24 Plus, like I mentioned before, as being the overall better device in almost every single way. This is the phone that I love a lot. This is the phone that I look at a lot, and it's the one that I would probably recommend every single person to go ahead and buy. Is it perfect? No, but I do think it's a really good device, and I do think this is the one that I actually do look at as being the better one. I think the S24 FE is a good device kind of for some things, but even then I probably wouldn't recommend buying it. I think it's a good phone, but I definitely do look at something like the S24 Plus as being the overall better one. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.